Okay, so good morning, good morning, good morning. My thought for you that I've been playing with this week is I went back to this little story, and a lot of you have probably heard it from years ago. Cheryl used to tell a lot, but it's titled An Autobiography in 5 Short Chapters, right? So it's a life in 5 chapters. So let your eyes close for a moment, and I will read it to you. And again, don't worry, it's short. But with the eyes closed, I just want you to settle into yourself and see if this concept resonates with you. This is chapter 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It is not my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I do not see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I am in the same place. It is not my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It is a habit. My eyes are wide open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. In chapter 5, I walk down another street. Breathe into that for a second. Because this is the nature of our mind, right? That it likes to do what it does, and it likes to know what's coming next, even if what's coming next is painful. And so we spend a lot of our lives falling down the same hole over and over again, thinking that there's no way out. It's a metaphor for spiritual practice, right? Is that we do what we do because there's a way out. But the way out isn't that the rest of the world gets easier, or that it changes, or that it stops doing what it's doing, because the world is set, right? The dance is happening, and we're part of it. But if our mind is stuck in those grooves where it walks down the same street over and over and says, I won't change until the world changes, we keep falling in that hole, and it hurts. So that moment of my eyes are wide open, and I know that if I want this pattern to change, it's me that has the power to do it. That I am the power that moves this world, and not in the big sense that what I want or what I do is going to make everything else turn into that. But the power of your mind to contribute to the world, the power of your mind to build the world around you is huge. But it's not yours until you acknowledge it. And acknowledging it means that you also acknowledge that you're the one that keeps falling in the hole. And the beauty is, the liberation is that you can take another street. You don't have to fix the hole, because that's what we do. We think, if only I could fix that hole, I could keep doing what I'm doing and no problem. So the liberation that they say in yoga, the freedom, I can walk down another street. I can change my mind. So with the eyes still closed, take your arms up alongside your ears. Interlace your fingers, take your pointer fingers straight up towards the ceiling. So you got that little cowboy gun, Kali Mudra. And you're squeezing the forearms towards your ears, so there's a hug that happens, but then relax your shoulders. And you're repeating Sat Nam. So the Sat is a drawing the navel in and up. Nam is a relax. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Say it out loud if you'd like. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Good. Keep going. Pulling the navel in as you say Sat. Relaxing as you say Nam. Sat Nam means truth is my identity. Truth is my name. So you're filling yourself with this concept, with this reality, with this knowledge that you are beyond what your mind does. You know, all of those thoughts, all of those patterns, all of those roads that you walk, the holes that you fall in, it's not you. And there's a place in you that is always in this state of truth where there is no confusion. You know who you are. Keep going. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. You repeat it over and over and over again so that you're affirming for your mind. You're creating that new groove. Good. Or deepening a groove that's already there that says, I know who I am underneath all of this stuff that is me dancing in the world. Good. Keep going. Sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam. If you get tired, pull up straighter through your spine, longer through your spine. Hug those arms. Keep going. Good. If you can't keep the arms straight, that's okay, but keep them up. The elbows bend, that's fine, but keep the arms up. You can even have hands on the top of your head if you have to, but keep your arms up. Good. Sat, nam, sat, nam. Right? We're told that the world is manifested through our mind. What we see, what we feel, what we experience as the world is manifested through your mind. So if your mind is in this space of the truth, I know who I am, then the world is manifested from that. Your contribution comes from that. And the more of us that do that, is it's like that anchor, it's like that wave, it pulls all the other vibrations to that truth. Sat, nam, keep going. Sat, nam, sat, nam, sat, nam. Relax into it. Again, there's a rhythm to it. Navel pulls up and relaxes, pulls up and relaxes, pulls up and relaxes, pulls up and relaxes. You're almost there. Keep going. Good. Sat, nam. Truth is my identity. Fill your mind with it so there's nothing else. Beautiful. And then a deep breath in, pause and hold the breath, squeeze your arms, squeeze your pelvic floor, squeeze the navel in and up, drop your chin, push up through the crown of your head, hold. Then exhale, release everything, let the arms come out and down, relaxing the hands onto your lap. Just feel yourself again. Truth is my identity, and to acknowledge that the truth of who I am means I also have to acknowledge the way that I have been falling in holes over and over again. And to see that with no blame and no judgment, but just to realize I am the one that falls in the hole. And I am the one that's capable of taking another road. Begin to cat-cow your spine, still seated, maybe still with the eyes closed, lifting the chest forward and up, exhaling, curling and rounding back. Good. Nice. So you're moving your spine. You're part of this rhythm of the world. You're part of this dance of the world. So the rhythm of your breath links you up with that cosmic rhythm because this is where the breath comes from. Good. Move yourself a tiny bit faster in your cat-cow. Nice. And then slowly come back to stillness, please. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands, please. Go ahead and come forward onto hands and knees. Now you're pretty warm though, right? That Sat Nam woke you up. Or help put you back to sleep, either one. I don't know. Good. On hands and knees, please. Keep your hips in line with your knees. Walk your hands forward so you come into a modified downward facing dog. So you're stretching the arms out. Good, but pull those hips back. So you're not dropping your hips to your heels, but you're keeping that alignment of knees and hips right on top of each other. Good, so that as you walk the hands out, you get the full length of your spine. Come up on your fingertips. or at least press into your hands, maybe so you can lift the heels of your hands up, armpits lift up, and then just for a breath or two, let your heart begin to melt towards the floor. So your ribs, your low ribs are going to stay just a little engaged, but that space behind the heart begins to soften, like you're rolling the shoulder blades towards each other. Good. You're rolling the lower armpits towards each other, but keep pressing into your hands. Pull back on your shoulders, pull back on your armpits. Good. Nice. Just one or two more breaths, letting your chest melt towards the floor. Beautiful. Good. And then walk your hands back in underneath your shoulders. Take your right arm out wide to the right. Slide that arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Walk your left arm forward to straight. Thread the needle. Good. Keeping your hips right on top of your knees. So again, you're watching that you're not letting your pelvis fall back towards your heels, but you are pulling back through the tops of your thighs. So that's that lengthening action on your spine. Good. Then pressing into those left fingertips a little bit more, round into your middle ribs as much as you can. So kind of turtle your middle back. And then send that left armpit higher up towards the ceiling so that you get a little bit more of the openness, a little bit more of the twist. Good. And keep your shins pressing down. Beautiful. And then release and come back up to hands and knees, please. And then go to the other side. Take your left arm out and wide, slide behind your right wrist. Left shoulder finds the floor. Right arm comes forward towards straight. Keep both shins, tops of both feet on the floor. And hips are right in line with your knees. Good. So again, you are consistently pulling back through the tops of your thighs. Good. Nice, you guys. Don't let the ribs fall towards the floor. So that right arm that's extended, press into the right fingertips. Again, round into your middle back, round into the place of your shoulder blade, and then stack that right rib cage a little bit more on top of the left so that you're really getting that sensation of twisting through the spine, opening through the spine. Good. Beautiful, you guys. Joy root those shins a little bit more. Nice. And then slowly come on out. Come back to hands and knees. Good. Step your feet back to plank pose, upward push up. Good. So stretching the legs back to straight. Hands are right underneath your shoulders. So your armpits should be right on top of your wrists. You might have to slide forward a little bit more to make that true. Good. And then you're lifting straight up through those inner thighs, like the inner seam of your pants is going straight up towards the ceiling. Nice. And then lift the back of your heart again, lift the back of your throat. Beautiful, you guys. And then keep all of that and lower down to the floor slow. So don't do that thing where you drop your belly and press your chest towards the floor. Lower down slow. Good. Really nice, guys. Beautiful. Walk your hands a little wider off of your mat, right and left. So before you come up to Cobra, widen your arms and then come up onto your fingertips. Good. And then as you start to rise up, lift head, neck, and chest, but pull those elbow tips up towards the ceiling so that you keep that open rotation on your arm bones. Good. And then let yourself begin to twist just a little bit to the right. So maybe you drop into your left hand more and really press into your right fingertips, lift the right rib cage, and then back towards center, and then go the other way, twisting open to the left. Nice, Natalia. Keep going, twisting a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Keep your pelvis really stable. Don't let your legs flop around. So don't let your legs rotate, Mark. Keep them really flat. Good. Beautiful, you guys. And then come all the way back down to your belly, please. Forehead to the floor. Take your hands back behind your head, elbows wide. Good. Press the tops of your feet down into the floor, root down through the front of your shins, and then lift those elbows up so you get that, again, openness through the chest. And then keeping your gaze down, begin to lift head, neck, and chest up. Keep your feet on the floor. Press the back of your head up into your hands. Good. Nice, you guys. Open armpits. You're looking straight down at the floor so that the angle of your neck is straight with your spine. Good. And then again, the back of your heart is rising up. Squeeze those shoulder blades towards the middle of your back. So not just towards each other, but draw them in. Awesome. And then release back down to your belly, please. Plant the hands alongside your ribs. Come back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Good. Nice, you guys. Right leg comes up and back behind you. Down, dog split. Nice. Step that foot forward between the hands. Lunge. Back heel comes flat. Baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Warrior two. Cartwheel the arms up over the hips, shoulders in line with the hips. Good. Nice, you guys. And again, I want you to round into your back just a little bit here. So pull back into your back rib. So actually fold in through that lower rib cage and lift your low belly up just a little bit. So you move your shoulders back in space and then start to uncurl the spine, press up through the crown of your head. So again, you're looking for what it feels like to have shoulders right on top of your hips. Nice job. And then bring your right forearm to the front thigh. Left arm comes over the ear for side angle pose. Good. Parsva Konasana. Nice job. Keep your rib cage drawing in. So take that left hand behind your head. That's the arm in the air. Take the hand back behind your head and look in towards your belly for a moment and curl into your back rib cage once again. And then start to stack that left rib cage open on top of the right. So it's moving back in space. It's moving towards the back of your mat. Nice. And then press your head back into your hands and start to, again, uncurl the spine without pushing the ribs forward. Beautiful. And then stretch that left arm over the ear again. Awesome. Bring your right fingertips down to the floor or a block inside that front foot. Good. Pressing the forearm up against your knee. Squeeze your knee into your forearm. Keep your left rib cage really open. I know it's a little harder now with the hand on the floor. Good. And then start to straighten your right thigh into triangle from here. So you're pulling your hips up and back to straighten the leg. Good. Letting that right arm stay relaxed. Reaching up through the left fingertips, reaching up through the left wrist. Nice, you guys. Good. Draw those low ribs back and in and stack that left rib cage a little higher. That's it. Nice, you guys. Good. Bend that right knee again, please. Release both hands down to the floor. Spin your back heel up. Good. Drop the back knee. Keep both hands to the inside of the front foot or bring it back to the inside of the front foot. And then walk yourself straight ahead into lizard. So walk your arms forward so that you're extended on your fingertips or drop down to your forearms if that feels comfortable or if that feels possible. Good. Nice, you guys. So if being on the elbows does not work, right, it causes your neck to tense or it causes your back to get really stuck, then stay up on your fingertips. Just make sure that your arms are extended so you get that full length on your side body. So your armpits should be pulling forward away from your hips and your hips are drawing back away from your armpits. Good. And then again, you're softening that place behind your heart. So your chest is getting wider. Nice. If you are on blocks or on your forearms, watch if you are someone who has that tendency to clasp your hands here and grip. If you're gripping your hands, let them go. Good job, Diane. Just like yesterday, let your hands go. It's funny, right? That we will do the exact same thing and the exact same poses over and over again. And in our minds, we're like, but that's part of the pose. No, it's not. It's just a thing that you do. Right? Start to pay attention where you grip in your life, where you grip in yourself, where you insist, oh, I just want to do it the way that I do it, even if the way that you do it causes you pain. Don't keep falling in the same hole. Good. Take one more breath, lifting through your chest, long throat. Awesome. And then walk your hands back in, please. Left hand plants right arm to the sky, spinal twist. Good. Keeping the pelvis moving a little bit more forward into your lunge because you still have that back knee on the floor, so you can let the pelvis go forward. So back knee on the floor, Natalia. There you go. And then right arm to the sky, spinal twist. So switch your hands. Just switch your hands, Natalia. There you go. You got it. Optional here, you guys. Bend that back knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, reach back for the foot or the ankle, take the quad stretch. Good. Again, if it's too early in your practice to make that make sense, then don't worry about it. But lift that right shoulder, that right rib cage up and open if you're reaching back for the foot. Don't collapse on yourself. Nice, Pam. Nice, Perry. Good, Jessica. Good, you guys. Slowly release everything. Come all the way out. Good. Hands to the floor. Lift your back knee, please. And then step that left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Good. Using blocks under the hands if you need. Checking that your hip points are facing the same direction towards the top of your mat. Nice, you guys. And then find your breath again. Good. Like we're always looking for that quiet place in between all of the thoughts that is the Satnam place, right? Because that mantra, that truth is my identity, it doesn't mean that sometimes it's your identity and sometimes it's not. It means that it always is your identity, but your mind is either looking at it or it's not, right? So it's not like we have to find the truth of who we are, is we have to just learn to look at it. We're so used to looking away from it that it feels weird. Good. So it's all those little between your thoughts is that reality of Satnam. One more breath here, you guys. Squeeze your feet. Good. And then bring yourself up to stand. Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. Don't change the legs. Yep, don't change the legs. Right leg is still forward. Good. And then reach back behind you, please. Interlace your fingers at the low spine or hold opposite elbows or come into reverse prayer. Again, it's early in the practice, so reverse prayer might not be possible yet. But hug those upper arms if you're clasping the hands, and then begin to bow forward, same legs. Send your hips back, armpits forward. Good. Forward fold, bringing the arms up and over any amount if you are holding your hands. If you're holding opposite elbows, keep the arms at your lower back. Good. Keep squeezing the legs towards each other. Good. On your inhale, lift the back of your heart here. Lengthen again. Armpits forward, hips back. And then keep that length. Nice, Danielle. And exhale, fold deeper. Good. Nice, Alana. Awesome. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Nice job. Step your left foot forward alongside your right, standing forward fold. Good. Uttanasana. And then bend your knees deeply, please, for chair, Utkatasana. Walk your hands up to your thighs and cat-cow your spine. Good. Nice, you guys. The Satnam. Say February always makes me think of Shivaratri because that's usually when it falls. This year it actually falls a little later in March. But it's the time when Shiva, who is the energy, he says he's the cosmic dancer. He's the dance of the world, of everything being born and being created and doing its thing and then dissolving. And the space that is between all of that is Shiva's dance, right? Dance of the universe. And for one night in the year, he takes off, right? It's his wedding night, so he gets the night off. And we're asked during that time to be the ones that stay up and keep the world going. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch your arms up alongside your ears. Interlace your fingers. Press the heels of your hands out beyond the top of your head. Come up on your tippy toes. Good. And bend your knees deeper. Press your butt back. And if coming up on the tippy toes in chair doesn't make sense, just stay where you are. Good. Nice, Mia. Good. Lift that chest, Pam. Good. Heels to the floor, please. Hands to the floor. Straighten the legs and bow. Nice job, Rhonda. Good job, Susie. Awesome, you guys. Take one more breath. So you really fold. You really let yourself go. Thank you. And then step back to downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down slow, again, with that feeling of pulling up through your inner thighs as long as you can. So it's like your ribs and your thighs hit the floor at the same time. Don't let your belly drop before the rest of you does. Good. Nice, you guys. Point the toes back behind you. Rise up, Cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest, but press through your feet. Press down through the front of your shins. Good. And then release back to your belly, please. Forehead to the floor. Keep your hands where they would normally be for Cobra, but lift your hands up off the floor. And then pull back on your hands so that you're making this 90-degree angle from your wrist to your elbows, but your hands are off the floor. Good. And then keep that pulling back energy of your arms, but lift your chest forward and up. Come back into Cobra with no hands. Good. Perry, pull your wrists back a little bit more. Heidi, pull your wrists back a little bit more. Yeah, so you're pulling back on the arms, but pulling forward with your chest. Cobra pose, no hands. Awesome. And then stay with the back lifted, but press your hands down to the floor now, right where they are, and lift a little higher. Good. Press into your shins. Really nice, Jessica. Good, Debbie. And then release, downward facing dog. Nice, you guys. Left foot steps forward between the hands. You can take a down dog split there if you want. Don't worry about it. Left foot forward. Drop your back heel. Baby toe parallels back of your mat. Come into warrior two. Front knee points straight ahead. Good. But your pelvis is turning towards the side. So find the balance between that. If you turn your pelvis so much that your front knee can no longer face towards the top of your mat, it can't face towards your second toe of your front foot, as you've pulled yourself too far. So find that point. Good. Nice, Meredith. Beautiful, you guys. And then round into your ribs again. So it's a slight lean forward so that you can turtle into your back, or you can round into the back of your rib cage. Move your weight back in space. Your shoulders move back in space. And then start to uncurl the spine, lifting through the chest, but without pushing the ribs forward, without popping them out of that connection to your pelvis. Good. And then left forearm comes onto front thigh, right arm comes over the ear, side angle. Keeping your ribs drawing in. So it's the same energy that draws back, and then lift that right rib cage open a little bit more. That's it. Nice, Teresa. Beautiful. Good, Nancy. Good. You guys take the right hand behind your right head. Take your right hand behind your one head, the only one you have, and then start to look towards your belly again, round into your ribs one more time, and then really, really, really pull back so that you feel that full connection from your ribs to your lower spine, right? Then from there, twist that right rib cage open more without popping the ribs out. And now press your head back and pull your sternum to the top of your mat and pull your tail to the back of your mat. So there's no room to pop your ribs out because you're extending forward and back so much. Good. And then stretch the right arm over the ear again, get longer. Yeah. And then drop the left hand down to the floor inside the front foot. You could use a block there instead if reaching the floor isn't quite possible. Press your forearm against your shin, squeeze your shin against your forearm. Good. And then start to straighten that front leg into triangle, still squeezing the shin in. So that's why we started with that, right? Is to power up that leg so that as you pull your hips up and back, that foot and that lower leg stay really anchored. And then reach up through your right rib cage and your right wrist. Get lighter on that left hand. Good. So Anju, just take the right arm up to the sky so that you're in triangle. Good. Really nice, you guys. One more full breath, pull in all directions through both arms, through both legs, crown and tail. Bend the left knee, release the hands down to the floor. Good. Spin your back heel up and then drop that back knee. Take both hands to the inside of the front foot and then walk yourself straight ahead. So not to the diagonal of your mat, just straight ahead inside that knee. Good. Coming into that version of lizard. So you can drop down to your elbows if you'd like. You can be on blocks or stay extended on your fingertips. Just make sure you give yourself enough room that you feel your whole spine. Good. And if you are on your forearms or on blocks, watch that if you have that tendency to interlace your hands because you need something to do with your hands, that you're not gripping. Good. So you're pressing down through the heel of that front foot. Maybe you're even pressing down into your forearms or your hands so that you can feel the connection of your shoulders to your spine or your hips to your spine. But that pressing consciously into those points of contact to the floor is not the same as gripping. So relax your jaw. Good. Lift the back of your throat. Lift through the front of your chest. Nice, you guys. That state of awareness feels like it's a lot of work to maintain when it's something that we're not used to or we think that it's something new. What's my favorite line in this whole thing? My eyes are wide open and I know where I am. And I recognize that what happens in my life is not my fault, but I'm the one who has the power to change it. I'm the one who falls in the hole and has the power to take a different road. Good. Walk your hands back in, please, underneath your shoulders. Right hand plants, left arm comes to the sky, spinal twist. Good. Let yourself lean a little bit more into that right hand. So again, your chest is moving back, your shoulders moving back in space. So there's an openness to that arm that's holding you, the shoulder that's holding you. And then the option is to bend your your right knee, reach back for the foot or the ankle for the quad stretch. And again, if that makes no sense today, then stay where you are or even take that left hand to your lower back and just continue to twist. Nice, but watch that right shoulder, the arm that's holding you, that it doesn't start to fall in and get tight, get clenched because you're reaching for the foot. Nice, Sandy. Good, Joy. Nice, Susan. And then slowly release, take the arm back out. Good, hands to the floor, lift your back knee up, and then step that right foot forward just a little bit so that you can take both legs to straight, Parsvottanasana. Good, using blocks under the hands if you need. Set that right hip spinning a little bit more forward so that the top of your left hip can go back and wide. Nice. Good, you guys. Sat Nam. Truth is my name. Truth is my identity. And to see the whole truth means that I have to look at my greatness and my nonsense and realize that my nonsense is just a strange version of my greatness. It's looking at it weird. There's no reason to look away. That's the practice of yoga. It says there's no reason to look away from what you are. Because what you are is brilliant. What you are is that same energy that makes the snow and makes the sun and makes the rain and makes everything else that we look at and say it's so beautiful. And you look at that same energy in you and say, ugh. Or you look at the same energy in someone else and say, yuck. Why? Bring your hands to your hips, come all the way up to stand. So we practice Sat Nam, right? Can I look at that identity of myself as truth? Take your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers again if you'd like, or hold opposite elbows or reverse prayer. And then nice strong legs. So squeeze those legs towards each other and then begin to bow forward, taking the pelvis back. So move your thighs back in space, move your butt back in space, and armpits pull forward. Nice, Victoria. Nice, Rhonda. Good, Mark. Good, Sarah. Nice, Laura. Good, Mia, just drop your chin a little bit so that you've got a longer throat. There you go. Good, you guys. If you're clasping your hands, of course, you can take the arms up and over any amount. Nice, Melody. Good, lift a little higher, breathe in and extend again, armpits forward, hips back, get long. And then stay that long as you bow forward even deeper. Good. Pull back on those thighs, pull back on the hips. Awesome. Release the hands down to the floor, please. Good job. Step your right foot forward alongside your left, standing forward fold. Good. Bend your knees just a little bit. So again, you drop into your heels, scoop your belly, and start press your hips back up to the sky to bring those legs more towards straight and drop your head. So you're still just in that forward fold. I know, don't make it complicated. Good. Nice, you guys. And then bring the right leg up and back behind you, please, standing split. Yep. You got it. Good. Press into your hands. If you need blocks to underneath your hands, make sure you have them, but press into your hands, then curl into your spine. So you're in standing split, but round your back. Good. And then as we say, right, squeeze the feet towards each other, squeeze the legs towards each other so that as you round into your back, you actually feel a lower back stretch, right, in standing split. And then with that roundness, kick that thigh a little higher, lift your chest forward and up, come up on those fingertips. Good. Pull through your spine, ribs in, belly in. Yeah. Nice, you guys. And then bow deeply again, maybe walking the hands closer in towards your ankle. Some of you can take one hand or even both to hold the ankle and balance. Good. Again, if that makes no sense, stay where you are. Nice. So holding the standing ankle, Alana. But what you were doing was great too. Good. Release the hands, please. Come all the way back. Nice long lunge. Drop the back knee to the floor. Good. So your left foot is still forward. Drop the right knee to the floor. Good. And then walk both hands inside the front foot, please. Nice. Snuggle your left shoulder inside your left knee and then slide that left hand behind the heel, coming to the baby toe edge of your foot. So you're wrapping the left arm underneath behind your left calf. Good. So your left hand comes to the baby toe edge of your left foot. You got it. And then shoulders move forward, elbows slightly bent. So you really get into your chest and your upper back, and your hips pull back in space. Good. Either stay there or tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. Same position, just with the back knee lifted. Good. Pull your hips back and chest up. Nice. Good. And then optional here, if you feel pretty good about this, lift those hips a little higher, really press into those hands and hug those shoulder blades and lower armpits towards each other. Come up on the ball of your front foot. So lift your front heel. Good. And as you lift that front heel up, you've got to really pull your hips up and back. And then maybe you can press that left thigh into the top of your left upper arm and take your left foot all the way off of the floor. So you're in like a hovering split. Good. Nice, Heidi. Beautiful. Good, Stacy. You're right there. Nice, Alana. Beautiful. Slowly release the foot, please. Unwind that shoulder. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. I know. And then drop down to your knees for a moment, child's pose. I realize you haven't done a child's pose yet. I don't feel bad for you. I'm just, recognizing that's a thing that you like. Good. Breathe really deeply into that lower spine. Nice, you guys. Satnam. Truth is my identity. And when I know that, when I am in acknowledgement of that, then I have the power to liberate myself from everything. And that's the promise of yoga, right? Is that we practice so that there is that ability to find liberation. We wonder, where is it going to come from? When is it going to happen? When is the world going to feel the way I want it to feel? Well, when you know yourself to be the truth of who you are. And maybe it's not the way you want it to feel, but it's the way that is true. It's the way that feels true. And there's freedom in that. But the power to create that is in you. You are the liberator. Good. Walk yourself back to hands and knees. Do a little cat and cow or circling your hips or both. If you want to circle your hips into that or with that cat-cow position, you certainly can. Cat-cow movement. Good. Nice. And then bring yourself back to stillness, please. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Good. Find the full breath in down dog where your hips are pulling up. You're squeezing your hands and your feet towards each other so that there's this full feeling of taking the front of your body, the whole front of your body, and squeezing it to the back of your body. So your back body gets really full because your front body is pulling up and in. Good. And then start to walk your feet forward towards your hands until you come to a standing forward fold. So feet are underneath the hips. Good. And then left leg comes up and back behind you, standing split. Nice. And again, hands touching something. So the floor or blocks if you need to have blocks underneath your hands. Good. And with that leg lifted, round your back. So look in and up towards your belly. Squeeze in and up through your belly. Good. Round, round, round as much as you can. And squeeze the feet towards each other. So it's okay if that leg drops a little bit because you're squeezing your feet so much. You're squeezing your thighs towards each other so much. Good. And then maintain that feeling of fullness and come up on your fingertips. Lift your chest up again. Uncurl your spine. Lift through the back of your throat, but don't let your ribs drop. Keep pulling everything up and in. So extend, extend, extend. Top of your thighs go back. Good. And then bow deeply again, releasing the forehead towards that front shin, walking your hands back maybe a little further. Some of you might play with the balance, one hand or both, to your standing ankle. Good. Nice. If you're not taking the hands off the floor, you can also walk the hands back behind the standing heel. That will also give you a little bit of extra balancing practice. Good. Really nice. And then slowly releasing the hands forward, please step back to a nice long lunge. Yep. And then drop the back knee, please. Both hands come inside the front foot. Snuggle your right shoulder right up against your knee and then slide that right hand behind the heel to the baby toe edge of your foot. Good. And with the elbow slightly bent, you're leaning forward, lengthening forward with your chest. Your chest goes up and wide, and those lower armpits squeeze towards the middle of your back, and your throat is lifted. and your hips are pulling back. That's it. So you're pulling forward with the upper body, lower body's moving back. And then either stay right here or lift the back knee up. Good. Nice. And then the next option is to either stay right there or start to come up on the ball of your front foot. So you lift that heel. So your right thigh is pressing against your right upper arm. And you got to lift your right upper arm and chest and shoulder up against that thigh to support it. Back thigh has to lift even higher. So don't get saggy in that back leg. Pull up. Good. And then as you squeeze the feet towards each other, even here, see if you can take that right leg up off the floor, right foot up off the floor. So it's balancing on that right arm. Hips up. So Heidi, hips up. Good. Nice, Alana. You got it. Beautiful, you guys. And then slowly release and unwind your arms, please. Good job. Step back, downward facing dog. I know that's not a normal position. So if you're like, how come I couldn't do that gracefully? It's not a normal position. Drop down to your knees, please. Good. And then sit back between your heels if you can. Use a block if you need. Coming into Virasana. Good. So sitting between the heels. If you need a block, make sure you have it. If you don't have a block and sitting between the heels doesn't work, you can sit on your heels, but my preference is between. Make sure your knees are still pointing straight ahead from your hips. So if they're going wide, pull them in a little bit. There you go. So your feet should be just on the outside edge of your hips. Your knees should be pointing straight ahead from your hip points. Good. Stretch your arms out wide, letter T. Right arm comes on top of left in front of your chest. So you're crossing the right arm on top of the left. The elbows are in line. Press your forearms against each other. Eagle arms. Good. Nice, you guys. And then little circles with the elbows. Good. Breathing into the upper back. Breathing into the chest. Nice, you guys. Keep your ribs soft. Keep your seat anchored. Good. And then come to stillness. Please lift those elbows a little higher. Breathe in. And then exhale, releasing the arms out and wide. Good. Take your hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards your heels. Walk yourself back just a little bit so that you have that incline on your spine. Keep your shins down, knees down. So don't go as low as you can. Just walk your hands back a little bit. Keep your chest lifted. Good. Your hands can be as wide as they want to be here. So don't force them to go narrow. Let your arms be as wide as they need to be so that your chest has room to open. This is part of that Sat Nam, is to start to be really realistic with who we are and not just fall into that trap of this is always how I do it, even if it hurts. Good. And then walk yourself back up. I know, don't get comfortable, Jessica. She's like ready to go down to the floor. Come back up. Stretch your arms out wide. You can go down to the floor when we do it the next time, okay? Arms out wide. Left arm crosses on top of right in front of your chest. So the other arm on top for eagle. Wrap the forearms. Good. And then again, keeping your seat nice and steady, little circles with the elbows. Good. So your mind, the energy that is moving your piece of the world, your piece of reality. Right? And that cosmic dance is that it's energy that moves through all of us. That's the unifying force. That's why we say everything is one, because it's one dance. It's not your dance and my dance and someone else's dance all happening next to each other. Is that it's the same energy moving through. And we accumulate and we add to it. So we're participating whether we realize it or not. Good. Come to stillness, lift the elbows a little higher, inhale. Good, and then exhaling, releasing the arms out and wide, so find that bigness of your chest. Good, and then release the hands down to the floor. Again, walking the hands back behind you. Here, if you know you have the capacity to go deeper towards the floor in this back bending position, or in this thigh stretch position, then you're welcome to come as low as you'd like. So you can walk the hands back, maybe coming down to your forearms. If you have a block underneath you, you don't go any further than that with the block there. You have to move the block if you're coming down all the way onto your back. Good. Keep your shins on the floor. So if coming down to your back means that your shins are coming up, or you're feeling strain in your knees or your lower spine, you've gone too far. So be realistic with yourself. Good. Eyes wide open. I can see my greatness and my nonsense. And I know that my nonsense is part of my greatness, but if my nonsense takes over, then I keep falling in a hole and wonder how to get out. You're the liberator. As soon as you can see your nonsense, you can see that there's a way through. Good. If you are all the way on your back here and you want to plant your hands alongside your ears like you would in wheel, pressing the palms to the floor, elbows up, and pressing into the hands, pressing into your shins, you can begin to straighten the arms, lift your hips up off of the floor into that modified kind of wheel position. You're welcome to do that. Good. If that sounds like crazy talk, it is. So stay where you are. Good. Then take a last breath and begin to slowly unwind yourself. Come all the way back up. Nice job. And then bring your hands forward, please. Lift your hips off of the floor. Come back to downward facing dog. Give your legs something else to do. Good. Pedal your feet, wiggle your hips. Nice, you guys. Good. And then walk your feet forward towards your hands, please. Standing forward fold. Fingertips touching something again, either the floor or a block. Come up onto your tippy toes as you press your hands down to the floor. So find your hands resting on something. Good. Press down into your hands and come up on your tippy toes. Lift your hips. Good. And as you press into your hands, lift and lengthen. So like you find that long spine, chest up and open. Good. And then keep that feeling of that wide chest and fall into your hands a little bit more. Good. Pull your arms up into your shoulder socket, but keep your chest really wide. Look slightly forward and take your right leg up and back. Standing split, but up on your tippy toes. Good. Falling into your hands, pressing into your hands and lifting your chest forward and up. Look slightly forward. Yeah, the idea is that if you were intending to kick up into a handstand here, you have to really set your arms. Good. Chest up. Nice. And then release that foot down to the floor. Come back to standing forward fold. Nice, Heidi. Both feet flat. Bend your knees, please. Wrap the arms around the backs of your legs. Drop your head. Good. Press into your feet, widen your inner knees and send your sit bones nice and wide. And then scoop your belly, press your butt to the sky, start to straighten your legs, drop your head. So Sandy, drop your head. There you go. Forward fold, hugging the legs. Nice job. I can't see. You keep turning into an iPhone, but my gentleman on the bottom there, you're doing great. Good. And then release the hands back to the floor, please. Again, pressing into something, floor or block, best as you can. Come up on your tippy toes, so both feet up on tippy toes. And then pressing down into your hands. As you press down, your weight comes into the arms, pull up through your lower armpit. So you're pulling the arms up into the shoulder socket and pulling up through your low belly. Good. Look slightly forward, again, as though you were intending to kick up into a handstand, wide chest. Left leg comes up and back, standing split on your tippy toes, letting your weight fall into your hands and pushing into the hands at the same time that you pull the arms up into your chest. Good. Should feel like you're doing a lot of work, even if you have no intention of kicking up into handstand. If you are a handstander and you want to go for that little kick, go for it. Good. Beautiful, Heidi. Nice. There's no pressure ever. Good, Perry. Good. And then slowly release that foot back down to the floor. Nice job. Find your feet flat. Good. Again, hold the backs of your thighs. Wrap the arms around the backs of the legs. Bend your knees. Drop your head. Good. Widen those inner knees just a little bit. Widen your sit bones. And then scoop your belly, butt to the sky. Forward fold. Drop your head. Keep hugging the legs. Good. And then release the legs, please. Roll up the spine one vertebra at a time. Yeah, so you're finding each little piece of your spine as you come up. Awesome. Right leg is your standing leg. Bend your left knee to kick your heel back towards your butt, and then reach back for the foot or the ankle. So same hand, same foot. So left hand for the foot. Good. Right arm comes to the sky, or right hand comes behind your head. Beautiful. Nice, you guys. Start with that left knee in the same line as your right knee. So try and find that. Good. So you're letting that thigh really get long. And then you're lifting through the front edge of your pelvis. So you're pulling up. Your ribs are in. Good. And then start to let that thigh move back behind you as you take your chest forward into dancer pose, Naturasana. Good. Right? Being part of the dance where your life is not a burden, but it's something that you participate in. Beautiful. Not because you have to, but because it's part of who you are. You have to be what you are. So it's not a requirement. It's a joy. That's our liberation. Good. Bring yourself all the way back up. Nice job, you guys. And then release that foot to the floor. Good. Do a little jumping in place, up and down. Yeah. Light on your feet. Playful. Right? Balancing is one of those places where in our minds we get stuck in a hole. So don't get stuck in the same hole. Yeah. Shake it out. Good. And then find your stillness again. Come back to both feet. Good. Left leg, standing leg. Bend your right knee. Kick your heel back behind you. Good. Reach for the foot or the ankle. Take your left arm up to the sky. Again, letting your knee try and find the alignment with the standing knee. So your knees are in the same line. Hip points are lifting. Chest is lifting. You're as tall as you can get. Good. And then let yourself start to tip forward, bringing the thigh back behind you, but keep pulling up through that standing leg. Good. So you tip forward and then maybe you come all the way back up to standing. Again, make this a play. So you tip forward and then you come back, and then you tip forward and then you come back. Good. And then let yourself go a little deeper, tipping forward, chest up. Nice melody. Nice melanie, both of you. Good. And then bring it all the way up. Nice job. Good. And then release the feet to the floor, please. Awesome. I know. Jump up and down. Good. Yep. There you go. Beautiful. And then find your feet again. Separate your feet nice and wide. Turn your toes out 45 degrees. Both feet come down, squat. Awesome, you guys. Good. Press those elbows to the inner knees or the inner thighs, and then squeeze your knees in towards your arms. So the more you squeeze in here, and as you squeeze your knees in, you pull your sit bones wide, as this makes more space for the lower back, and then lift your low belly just a little bit. Good. So even if you're sitting on a block, you can still squeeze those knees. Yeah. There you go. It's the squeezing that's going to really open up those outer hips. Beautiful. And then release the hands to the floor. Come on down to sit. It's really fun teaching from home with a toddler. So I hear her in the background having whatever her challenges are. Good. Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Good. Bend your right knee, please. Bottom of the foot comes to the inside of your left thigh. Let your knee go wide. Good. Janu Shirshasana. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Little twist to your left. So you're bowing over the left leg, the extended leg. Forward fold. Good. Nice, you guys. The Satnam is that ability to be able to see your greatness and your nonsense. And to know that your nonsense doesn't take away from your greatness a single bit. But when we are caught in the nonsense being the only way we know how to do this dance of the world, and we do it over and over again, and even though it hurts, we call that suffering. And as soon as we realize what it is that we're doing, what our nonsense is, we realize that there's another way. And we call that waking up. When we get good at taking that other road over and over again and we stop falling in the hole, we call that enlightenment. The power is in you. Eyes wide open. I know where I am. And I am the one that has the power to liberate myself. And from there, I can walk down another road. That's the liberation. That you're awake and you know there's another road. Good. Walk yourself all the way back up, please. Nice job. Good. Bring your right knee up to face the ceiling. And then step that foot over your left thigh. Good. And then optional here is you can either just stay here or bend your left knee as well and curl that left heel towards your right butt cheek. So you can bend both knees if you'd like. Nope, other way, Debbie. Yeah, move your foot towards your right butt cheek. Yep, there you go. Yeah, so it's not Gomukhasana. It's where your foot would be on the floor outside that thigh. Yeah, coming into half Lord of the Fishes. The left arm comes to the sky, please. Right hand comes back behind you. You're twisting to your right. Good. So left elbow can hook on the outside of the right knee or can squeeze the knee in. Right hand is on the floor behind you. Twist. Good. So Debbie, just switch, Debbie O, just switch your arms so that left arm wraps around your knee. There you go. You got it. We get there eventually. Chest up, you guys. Good. Navel in. Drop through your seat. Beautiful. And then slowly release, please, coming all the way back out. Unwind your legs. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Good. Left leg stays, right leg stays where it is. Pull your left knee in towards your chest. Good. Let the knee drop wide, bottom of the foot to the inside of the right thigh. Stretch the arms up alongside your ears. Janu Shirshasana, other side, little twist to your right and forward fold. Good. I do think it's very apropos that at the time, again, I have this story written down from literally years ago in an email from 2011 is where I had it saved. And it was sent out on a day where it was snowing and classes were canceled. Isn't that funny? And the suggestion was go make snow angels and giggle. So I will make the same suggestion. Is go out and do your life in a way that makes you giggle, because the nonsense will be there, right? That's part of the dance, is that this world will never make sense the way our mind wants it to make sense. It's part of what we come to comprehend, that that's the truth, is it will never make sense the way we want it to. So we let go of that and we can giggle at the nonsense and still do what we have to do, but we giggle instead of cry. And we cry too when it's necessary. Take one more breath. Good. And then walk yourself back up, please. All right. Left foot, left knee comes up to face the ceiling. Step it over your right thigh. There you go. So this might be enough. You can stay right here and do the twist from here with just this leg, right? You're going to wrap the right arm around the left knee. Or you can bend that straight leg as well and bring the right heel towards your left butt cheek. Yeah, so it's the same twist no matter what. It's just either one knee bend or both. Good. Right arm wraps around your left thigh or elbow hooks to the outside of the knee. Left hand comes back behind you, spinal twist. So you're still twisting to the left no matter what. Good. And your belly is lifting up towards that thigh. Good. It's a pose named for the fish that heard Shiva's teachings and became the first yogi. And the story goes that they, the metaphor is they say that a human birth, being born a human being, is a rare gift. As rare as a fish popping its head up out of the ocean in the same place twice. That's how they say it. So whatever the burdens that you have in this life are, embrace them because they are yours. because this is the part of the world that is yours to liberate. This is your reality to liberate. And you're the one who has the power to do it. Sat Nam. Bring yourself back to center, please. Good. Unwind your legs. Nice job. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees wide for Baddha Konasana. Good. Then sitting nice and tall, feeling your sit bones, using a blanket underneath your seat if you need. Good. Before you fold forward, squeeze your knees up just a little bit. So press through the baby toes of your feet, but squeeze your knees up from your inner thighs, right? So you're not just using your outer thighs, you're squeezing from your inner thighs and press your butt back. Good. So already you're tilting forward on your pelvis just a little bit, squeezing those knees up. Good. And then forward fold that way. You can walk the arms out in front of you or continue to hold the feet, whatever feels better to you. But as you come forward, keep squeezing your knees up towards your ribs just a little bit and tilting the front of your pelvis towards the floor as you take your sit bones and your tailbone back. Good. And keep your spine long, armpits pulling away from your hips, pushing back away from your armpits. Good. And then when you've gone as far as your spine feels like it wants to go, relax that squeeze of the knees and just fall into your forward fold. Relax into it. Nice. Your greatness is not diminished by the rounding. Your greatness is not diminished by the nonsense. It's only when we get stuck in thinking that that's the way things really are that we suffer. So giggle a little bit. When you fall in the hole, laugh at yourself and say, oh, okay, I know what I did. And get out immediately. And then maybe next time you remember, you can take a different road. Unwind, walk yourself back up, please. Good. And then scoot yourself forward, please. I kind of really want those of you who have a wall to have the opportunity to do handstand. So if you have wall space to do handstand, either walking your feet up the wall or practicing kicking towards the wall, I would love for you to do that. If it means you have to go off camera, I'm okay with that. So an opportunity to do handstand, opportunity for a different inversion. If you really prefer headstand, you could do that too. Shoulder stand also. Pam's got her legs up a wall, which is fantastic. So find a place for you to do a little bit of inverting. And if the best option that you have is to be on your back, maybe with your sacrum resting on a block in bridge or with your legs up, that works great. Good. If you're like, oh, you want me to put my legs up a wall? I'm going back to bed. I understand. But if you're practicing that handstand, do it just the way, kicking up, do it the way that we started it, right? From almost coming into that tippy-toed standing split. Really good, Sandy. And then practice that, letting your weight come onto your hands and lifting through your pelvis, navel in, ribs in. Good choice, Diane. Good choice, Victoria. Good. So as you're kicking, it's really your inner thighs are guiding you. Good, Danielle. Really nice. Nice, Alana. Nice, Stacy. Good. Good, Meredith. I can't quite see what version you're in, but your legs are up. That makes me happy. Beautiful, you guys. Keep your ribs drawing in. If you are upside down, don't let that go. Becomes part of the practice, right? When we first start inverting, we're just grateful to be able to get our legs up. Don't be satisfied with that. Look also at how can I sustain myself here, breathing deeply, ribs in, inner thighs pulling up, feet pulling up, pressing into my arms, but chest wide. Good. Slow yourself down, Sarah. A couple more breaths wherever you are. Sat Nam. Truth is my identity. Nice, Mark. I'm fully aware of the greatness that I am, that includes my nonsense, but is not limited by it. Slowly start to find your way out of your inversion wherever you are. If you've gone somewhere else and you can still hear me, find your way back. Good. Find your way onto your backs. If you've been upside down in handstand or headstand and you want to do a little child's pose or something like that for a moment, even a down dog. Good. Slowly find your way onto your backs. Nice. And then bending the knees, please. Good. Pull both knees in towards your chest. Wrap your right thigh on top of your left thigh, stacking the knees. Separate your feet. Reach for your ankles or your shins. Good. And then you're drawing the knees in towards the chest as you draw your belly in and press wide through your lower spine. Gomukhasana on your back. Yep, on your back, Rhonda. There you go. My eyes are wide open. And I acknowledge that I participate fully in my nonsense. That I also have the ability to participate fully in my greatness. I can take a different road. I am the liberator. Unwind your legs and switch, take the other leg on top. And if that sounds like a lot of work and you're like, I don't want to be the liberator, I want someone else to do it. All right. But you're going to wait a while. Knees in towards the chest, press wide through your lower back, flex the feet. I want someone else to liberate me. Okay, it'll take a while. Till then, what do you want to do? How do you want to dance? Are you going to go make snow angels and giggle, or are you going to do something else? The important thing is to be where you are with eyes wide open. Because that's when we realize we have the power to take a different road, even if we choose not to. It's part of your power. You can choose to keep walking down that road and falling in the hole or stepping around it or looking to see who else has fallen in the hole and see if you can pull them out. That's what we do too. Hate to say it, but that's also part of our nonsense. Because there will always be someone falling in the hole, right? We'll do it forever. Unwind your legs, please. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Some of us make a career out of that, right? Pulling others out of holes. Come into happy baby, draw your knees wide, reach for your ankles or your feet. And there's beauty in that, right? Because people need the help. But do it with your eyes wide open. So your compassion and your generosity and your love don't become a burden to you. So it doesn't feel like there's an endlessness to this life that there's no way that you can keep up with. It's a dance. Right? It's like how Shiva can trust us for that one night that we keep the world going and surprise, it doesn't fall apart. It doesn't disappear. Good, you guys. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, please, dropping the heels towards your groin, but don't drop the feet to the floor. So the knees are still angled up towards your armpits. Good. Feel your whole lower spine. Good. Maybe squeeze the knees towards each other just a little bit so that you can feel even more of your lower back and your outer hips widening. Nice. And then squeeze the knees together, please. Scoot your hips over to the right. Drop your knees to the left. Good. And come back to center, please. Scooting the hips over to the left, dropping the knees to the right. And then come back to center, please. Squeezing the knees in, forehead up to meet your knees, hug. And then slowly release, extending the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you. Find your Shavasana. If you like that mantra, Sat Nam, come back to it with your breath. You don't have to do the navel pulling, just let it be the thought, let it be the sound that rides on your breath. And if there's another mantra that does that for you, brings you back to yourself, use that. And if you're happy just to fall into the silence or the sound of your breath, do that. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It is not my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I do not see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I am in the same place. It is not my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It is a habit. My eyes are wide open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. And finally, I walk down another street. Start to let your breath get deeper. Letting the body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. Taking a moment before you begin to push the floor away, come back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands together in the front of the heart center, palm to palm, or whatever mudra has been serving you well. And whatever brings you back to yourself, that's what you use. So this story I love because every one of us have the holes that we fall into. There's not a single person that doesn't have a hole. And every one of us has had that experience where we know what we're doing and we do it anyway. And every one of us has maybe come around to that realization that they are the ones that has the power to change what you're doing. And we're all kind of on that edge of realizing that we have the power to walk down another street. We have the power to change the way that we think about ourselves or the world, the way we interact. We have the power to turn a life that can feel like it's full of burdens into one that feels like it's just a dance. And if you're waiting for someone else to liberate you, you'll wait for a while. So the liberation, what yoga promises, the freedom, is when you realize that you have the power to do it yourself. You are the liberator. It starts with my eyes are wide open and I know where I am. And I start to turn my attention to who I really am inside, Sat Nam. And I live from there, a place where I can embrace my greatness and my nonsense. My nonsense is part of what makes me great, as long as I don't think it's the only way. So start to turn your attention back to that part of yourself that is great and take another road. Close with the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. And Sat Nam. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy it. Go make snow angels and giggle.